So look, I know what I'm about to say about to sound real messed up. And these are my thoughts. You know, you know how you can hear somebody say something maybe like a couple of years ago, right? And you could say to yourself, wait a minute, that's messed up. That's discrimination or whatever. That's really snooty of you to say, right? But then they say something like, when you get older, you'll understand more, right? See, I never really dealt with the colorism, light skin versus dark skin. Then us caramel people right in the middle. So I guess that's why, because it took my good Judy to tell me you wouldn't really have that much experience because you right in the middle. So you don't really have to deal with that as much. So she had to break it down to me like, it happens all the time. But like she said, you right in the middle, so you probably really didn't, you wouldn't have that much experience. And I don't like to surround myself around people that I always have to explain myself to. Meaning, for example, if I say something and I mispronounce a word, majority of everybody around me knows I have a speech impediment. So, if I say street, I don't have people around me say it's no scroll, it's no K. They automatically know what I mean. They don't they're not petty like that. They know what I mean. They know I have a speech problem, right? So, I don't like to surround myself around people that I always have to break down what the fuck I'm saying. Okay? And if I get to a place where I feel like I can't talk to you about certain things, what's probably going to happen, I'm going to probably stop talking to you because I don't like to be around people that I feel like I have to step on eggshells with. I don't like it. I'm not one of those people. You know how people say, I'll match energy. I'll match. I've been there. I done that. I done fought so much in my life growing up. I'm not really on that time no more. So I try to stay away from people that, take me there. I'm not matching anyone's energy. I just stop talking to you. You see what I'm saying? I just don't have time to be feeling like I gotta be on pins and needles with people because I might offend you if I say this. I might offend you if I say that. Fuck that. I just won't talk to you. It's other people out here that's not like that. That I don't have to do all that to, I don't have to, be so, you know, um, just I can't describe it. Like, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Like, I don't have to be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? I could let my hair down. I can breathe when I'm talking to them. I could just relax. I don't have to be, because I see why people say some of the things that they say now. The older I get, it makes a lot of sense. So, long story short, I remember once upon a time a person telling me, okay, a couple of moons ago, that they don't have dark skinned friends. And I said, why? Right? And the person told me because a lot of the times, but not most of the, not all the time, but most of the time, dark skinned people are insecure. And they felt like that, you know, kind of like the old saying goes, if you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, that's not my problem. Right? So I was like, I said to myself, damn, that's cold. Not necessarily, and I never really, you know what I'm saying? I kind of put it, I kind of remember what they said, but it never really, because I had never really, like, my good Judy told me you right in the middle. So you don't really, I'm not real light. I'm not real dark. So I never really went up against stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? I told y'all about the story about with my good Judy back in middle school, elementary. It took other people to really bring to my attention that she was mixed. You see what I'm saying? So I never really, you know what I'm saying? I never really looked at people's skin color. For me, it's always been how a person treated me. You see what I'm saying? That's all that really mattered to me. So, because I've met some nice looking people. I've came in contact with some nice looking people that were horrible. Horrible to be around, just horrible people. And from my experience with them. Now, your experience with those individuals may not be my experience. Just like it may be people that you hate that I may love to pieces. You see what I'm saying? So people have different experiences with different people, right? So, long story short, I always remembered that, right? So growing up, I've told you all about a couple of things that I went through, you know. But colorism, one thing I can say, I done fought back in my day, I done fought. But two things for sure. I never had to fight over a guy. That's number one. And number two, I never really had to, brawl about colorism. You know, I never had to go through that, right? So, but now I see it's out there. And when people say it's annoying, and that's why I hear a lot of people say, that's why when it comes up, they just say, you know what, fuck it. Do you think I'm a colorist? Fuck it. And they move on. You know what I'm saying? Because you will constantly have to break down why you're not a colorist. That's not what you meant. That's not. And it's like, it gets to a point, I see why people say, you know what, fuck it. I ain't got to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody got time to keep trying to break down to you what they meant, what they didn't mean, because you feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's a lady at my day job, right? I told y'all I took a new government position. And I'm going through training right now, right? Which they don't know, but I'm still looking for something different. I feel like, they don't know this, but I'm in grad school and I haven't told them. The people that hired me know, but I haven't told my peers, my other colleagues, because my experience, once people find out you're in grad school, it seems like they start to pick. Once they find out my education level, especially females, it seemed like they start to pick. So I haven't told them. Okay. So, and I'm gonna leave that part alone. But anyway, I started to say something. I'm gonna leave that part alone. So I haven't told them, and I feel like I'm in grad school, so I feel like I want more money. It's not bad money, but it's not enough money. So I'm still looking. But anyway, um, and it's just a couple of things that they left out. I left out of the job description that we have to do, and that's not what they told me in the interview. That's not, which I found out they were hiding certain things because they knew probably people wouldn't want to do that. And I just feel like I went through all these months to get this security clearance, and you know how government positions can be, and it's just certain shit y'all didn't say. So nonetheless, I'ma still lead the right way, when it's time and stuff. But nonetheless, um, so yeah, so it's a lady at my day job. She's training me, right? I'm gonna make this fairly quick. So long story short, we were chatting, chopping it up on Friday, right? So here's my thing. In my mind, I'm like, okay, if I start to feel like I can't talk to you, which like people, I see why people are quiet on jobs and stuff because it's people like that. They get offended by every little thing. You see what I'm saying? And it's best to not say anything. You play it safe by not saying anything at all. And I definitely understand that. And like my dudes had to remind me, you would think with everything that you've been through on jobs, you would have learned your lesson by now, right? But she's a soft. I thought she was a soft spirit. Y'all know I gravitate usually to soft-spirited people, right? So here's the thing. So we were sitting there talking or whatever, and I forgot how we got on the subject. She was saying, I'm gonna just fast forward, but she was like, TD Jakes is a nice looking guy. Then she was like, don't you think? And I was like, no. And she said, why not? And y'all, oof, if only I had changed the subject or said something else. I said, he's too dark, right? Oh my goodness. Why did I say that? Right? What you mean he too dark? I said, because he's too dark. In my humble opinion, that's based on what I feel, you know. But why you say that? You never been with a dark man? I said no. Right? So then she was like, what did she say? She said something. And I was like, she was like, so what you think of me? So what you trying to say? What, you don't think dark people are beautiful? I said to myself, oh Lord, I know I am not experiencing colorism. I know I'm not experiencing this. Because how in the fuck did we go from you asking me, this part I'm thinking, right? How in the fuck did we, because she was asking me why I was quiet. But my back brain was trying to process how in the fuck we go from you asking me about TD Jakes to me saying, you trying to basically say that I think that dark skinned people are not, you know. And I'm trying to sit here and I'm like, does this lady not know that my biological mother is really dark? I've told y'all this before. She's dark as sin. You see what I'm saying? The only reason why I have my color is because my father, my biological father, is an extremely light-skinned man. You know, so I'm like, I know this lady is not flipping. Y'all, she was getting loud. I said, oh my goodness. So, sidebar. It's a lady there that's really light, right? You'll see why I brought this up. And I'm going to tell you about the other two things she did. Then, you know what? Then, she asked me yesterday, she was like, why are you so quiet today? I wanted to say so bad because I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. I'm starting to wonder, are you a 61-year-old woman with and still having insecurities? Because I can't do this with you, right? I just said, oh, no reason. But I wanted to say so bad, you got some stuff that you still ain't worked out in 61 years. And I ain't got time to be sitting here trying to, that's not what I meant. That's not what I see why people just say, fuck it. I ain't got to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody got time to be trying to break down every little thing to you. If I feel like I can't talk to you, I'm going to just sit here, get my training, and don't deal with you after the training. So similar to this lady right here, I see why she don't deal with her. So look, check this out. So, bringing me to my next point. So, okay, so boom, right? We're going to leave the TD Jakes stuff. Put a pin in that. You'll see why I brought it up. So, this happened all on Friday, but it kind of spilled into Monday. It did. Well, yesterday wasn't Monday. Tuesday. So, it kind of spilled into Tuesday because I went to a seminar Monday, so I wasn't there. So what happened Friday kind of spilled into Tuesday, and I could tell she was a little salty about it. And I've broken myself out of the habit of asking people, are you still mad about da da da? Because I know she was still mad about it, because why? She has insecurities that I have nothing to deal with. You've been dealing with these insecurities before I was even alive, before I was even born, okay? Bullshit, because if everything offends you that I'm saying now, I can only imagine the things that you've put people throughout the years. Okay, when I say that, meaning I see why certain people just speak and just, some of them don't speak at all, and I'm like that. Once I don't see it for you, I don't speak either, right? So, nonetheless, I wanted to say so bad. This lady act like I'm light bright my damn self. I'm right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So why is you getting so uptight about everything? Why? Because you have insecurities that I have nothing to do with, right? So you'll see, okay, so boom. It's a lady there that's real light, right? Now, um, keep in mind this lady that I'm referring to, we're gonna call her um insecurities. That's gonna be her name. So the light skinned lady, we gonna call her 17 because she been there for 17 years. Insecurities been there for 2 years, going on 2 years. We just gonna wrap it all around in 2 years. Um 17 been there for 17 years. We gonna call her 17. So the light skinned lady, which she has wrinkles on her forehead. Have y'all ever seen somebody with wrinkles on their forehead? So to me, she ain't that good looking because she got wrinkles on her forehead, right? So, and it ain't like one or two. It's like she got waves, like not even trying to mock nobody, right? So, but she ain't did nothing to me, right? So I'm not the type of person just because you feel some type of way towards somebody. I'm not the type of person that's gonna mistreat them just because you don't like them. The person got to do something to me, right? I'm not the type of person that's gonna address you with some from what I heard. Well, everybody else said. I don't give a fuck. Because if you looking at me smiling, waving, saying good morning, and you ain't did nothing to me, I'ma say hi, and smile back. You ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So, I would notice sometime I would sit in the break room and the lady would walk in, and it could be me and her in there, and she would walk right past her and she would speak to me. I would speak back, right? Because I'm not the type of person that's gonna say, "Oh, well, that was rude. You saw so and so standing there, da da da," because I don't know what has transpired, so I'm not gonna call you out on that because it could be something I'm new. It could be something that I'm not privy to. You see what I'm saying? So boom. So I said to myself, you know what I'm saying? And I would notice she would do that often. When I would be sitting there, get my training, and she could be coming in late or whatever, coming back from break. She'll speak to me, and she could be sitting right here, and she wants to speak to her. Hey, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like this. Even though you could give me your side of the story, I'm still not. It could be like 3 people telling me the same story about one person. How do I know y'all not ganging up on this person? Because I've been through stuff like that on jobs and schools too. So I know how people can be. Sometimes it could just be somebody, well, that's not what I heard. And the whole time, this shit, people that came back and told you this, what they want to tell you. They done twisted some shit. They done left some shit out. You know what I'm saying? So I know how people can be, right? So I'm going to fast forward because it's getting kind of long-winded, right? So long story short, I can't remember what we was talking about Friday. But I would just see how she would look at the lady. So her boss, I'm gonna say her name. We're gonna call her Nappy Dreads because she need to get her dreads redone. And whatever, don't miss me with the nappy stuff because my hair is nappy. My natural hair is nappy. I have to get a perm to straighten it out. When I don't get a perm, it's nappy as a sheep's ass. Okay, and my hair is the type. I got real black people hair. If it's too nappy, it'll ball up. I got kinks in the back. I got not pure knot balls. Ain't shit curly about my hair. So, miss, for the people out there that why she making nappy remark, pure black people hair, coarse as they call it, coarse sheep's ass hair. Okay, just gotta clarify because we know we got people like insecurities in the world. They gotta make a mountain out of a molehill. Okay, I ain't got time to be clarifying everything to y'all ass, right? So boom. So nappy dreads, she need to get her dreads redone. Just like me, in between braids, if I'm gonna keep wearing braids, I have to get a touch up because I don't want my braids to look nappy. For my black girls out there, we know how fresh braids look with a perm and how they look when you don't have a perm. They get old looking very fast, okay? Miss me with the bullshit. So anyway, um, you know, the lady was walking past, y'all. When I tell y'all, she would go out her way to look at this lady so nasty. And I would say to myself, am I seeing stuff? Why is she acting like that? The lady just, you know what I'm saying? So, trust me, I've been through stuff. I know when a person is trying to be funny. I know when somebody is trying to be funny. So I don't think the lady was really paying her no mind. Y'all, I'm about to fast forward because this is so draining telling this story, talking, because the lady, I don't like to say when people got issues because, we all got issues. Some just hide it better than others. But I don't like to say that. I say she has insecurities that she still hasn't worked out. You'll see why I say this, right? That's why she told me yesterday, you just ain't talking to because I don't know what the fuck to say to you, right? So boom. So um so so boom, right? So her supervisor, we don't have the same supervisor. Her supervisor was like, why do you have to make it look so obvious when she walks by? And she said, because she don't talk to me. And she said, I know, but don't make it look so obvious that you hate the lady. Just because I knew I won't trip it. It is obvious, right? She said she won't talk to me. She talked to everybody over here but me. She won't even speak to me. And I wanted to say so bad, look at how you look at her when she walked past. What has the lady did to you? You watch this. She said she won't talk to me. I said to myself, how do you know it hasn't gotten back to her with your body language towards her? You side eye her, you make funny faces at her. I didn't tell her this, right? So, boom. So, so we were talking or whatever, and I came right out and asked her. I said, "Do you know her?" You know, so she said, because she had made a remark along the lines of, I see she speak to you, huh? I said, yeah, she hasn't done anything to me. So I just got right to the punch. I said, do you know her? Like, have you trained her? That's the way I had put it. I said, did you train her? She said, no. I said, do you know her? Because in my opinion, just because you work with somebody, that doesn't mean you know them. Knowing them is like, um, actually having a heart to heart, going to lunch, you know, more than just, you know, it's people that I have worked with that I have actually had words with, bump heads with, that to this day I still consider myself not knowing them. Knowing them to me is somebody like a friend, an associate, not an acquaintance. An associate is a difference, right? Um, to me, that's knowing somebody. Knowing somebody is not, you know what I'm saying, hi, bye, sitting next to them in a cubicle, whatever. That's not knowing somebody, right? So she said no. I said, well, I got right to the punch. I'm like, well, I said to myself, well, why she look? So I said, so has she done anything to you? She said no. I said to myself, well, damn, why you acting like that towards her, right? Females are a trip. This is why I keep you bitches out my face, right? So I said, so I came right down and asked, I said, so what's tea? And she caught an attitude. I'm like, why you, I said it in a joking way, but I was so serious. I said, so why you acting like that? I said it like, I said, so why you acting like that, But I was so serious. And she said, because she thinks she said she thinks she the stuff. No, she said she thinks she all that or something like that. She said it was an old time word. I said, you know how long it's been since I've heard somebody say that somebody think they all that? My old pastor used to say, when somebody say that the next person think they all that, is you think they all that. Because nobody is walking around saying I'm all that. So it's you think they all that. Y'all, the lady is light skinned, soft hair, hazel eyes with a terrible shape. Okay? So watch this. So she said, so this how I found out the lady been there for 17 years. Watch this. So I said, then I'm about to fast forward again. I said, so she said, you'll see why I say I'm starting to see why people say little stuff. So then she was like, so she was like, so guess how long she been here? And I was like, no, what did she say? I can't remember. She was like, yeah, cause she said she thinks she all that, and I don't see how she thinks she all that. Uh, uh, I said, who? I played it stupid, right? Because I said to myself, how she think she all that? The lady just walked past, she ain't said nothing to us. I mean, she speak, but she don't really. So she saw I almost said the lady name. She saw the lady talking to the other lady, and she was like, you see how she over there talking to her? She over there talking um, to the brighter lady, but she won't talk to me though. And I said to myself, I was scratching my head like the brighter lady, because the lady she was talking to was a couple of skin tones darker than her, than the 17, but she was lighter than me. So I said to myself, so I told her, I said, so what does that have to do with anything? Because she spoke to me and I'm darker. We're going to call that lady up north. We're going to call her North because she's from up north. So I said, well, what does that have to do with anything? Because she spoke to me, but I'm darker than her, right? I was trying to make sense of what the fuck she was saying. So she was like, oh, you just got to rub in my face how she talked to you, huh? I said, no, wait a minute. I got to be missing something, right? So I said to myself, oh my goodness, I think I'm experiencing colorism. I really do. So she said, I see why people say fuck it. I ain't gotta deal with this shit. And they don't even explain themselves anymore. Right? So I said, I was scratching my head. I was really trying to keep in mind we supposed to be in training. So I said to myself, what the fuck is she talking about? So I said, okay, so mind you, this after TD Jakes. So already showed me that you a little sensitive when it surrounds like that light skin versus dark skin shit, right? So, I told y'all a while ago, I was having a conversation with a chick, right? And she was more so, not to say it like this, but on my level a little bit, because we could have certain conversations. She was a dark skinned girl. And I didn't have to feel like, oftentimes I don't really hold conversations with chicks because y'all just so malicious and shit like that. So I really try not to really, um, but she wasn't like that, right? So I didn't mind, but she was like, I hate when dark skinned girls always make it about color when they talking to a light skinned chick, because that's why they say we always hating on them right now. Because everything has to be about the color. And I'm like, well, nah, nah. But it's crazy how the universe works, because I came in contact with, I'm gonna say her name, insecurities. So I'm like, I thought back on what that chick said. I'm like, this is what she was talking about, right? So, and she said, this is why they think we always hating on them, because everything we always got it. And like she said, it's interesting. She said, because when you really think about it, the dark skinned people will bring it up before the light skinned ones will. You see what I'm saying? And I see what she's saying. And I see that trait in insecurities. Now keep in mind, I'm not even gonna tell y'all about the other 3 incidents that came up. Mind you, I've only known this person in 2 weeks. So I see why. And when I first started training my first week there, people kept asking me, how's it going between you and insecurities? And I would say fine. And they would say things like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. And I'm like, And I would tell my dukes about it, right? And she would say something up with her. And I would say, nah, you know, um, so look, I'm gonna finish telling y'all this part, this story time. I might tell y'all the next one, but it's going into 30 minutes. This is too long. So, okay, so boom, right? And I don't have a lot of storage on my phone, no way, left. So I'm trying to get me a new phone. I just haven't had time. Y'all know I work 2 jobs. I ain't go to school. So, So I'm sitting here trying to make sense of what the fuck this lady is saying to me, right? So, boom. So then she says, so yeah, y'all. So we were chatting or whatever. I had to put some clothes in the dryer. So we were chatting or whatever, and she was just like, I forgot my train of thought. So you know how you say it's like I'm gonna do this, and you went to do this and do that and do this and do that. But anyway, I got class tonight too. I just thought I need to put me a Mountain Dew in the freezer. So yeah, so we were chatting or whatever. And I kind of saw where the conversation was going. That's why I told her, I was like, let's just go back to, doing what we were doing because, I said, and like I told her, I said, I'm not trying to cut you short, but, it's just, I said, I feel like I'm offending you and, and I'm kind of, not liking the way the conversation going too. So, let's just, get where we was doing. And she was like, nah, baby, nah, it's not like that. Oh my goodness, I sound just like her. And I wanted to say so bad, it is. Whenever somebody say it's not like that, it is. You know, so that's like somebody saying, usually when somebody say, can I ask you a question? They better ask you some deep shit, right? So, and when they say something like, you promise you won't be mad, that means what they about to ask you, they know it's a possibility that you're going to get upset, or they know already that they're overstepping their boundaries, right? So, but they just want to make sure, like kind of like a little kid when they about to get in the pool, they put one foot in, like with my little cousin. I hold her on because I know she going to put one foot in and I don't want her to fall forward. So I hold her on while she put that one foot in. I'm like, oh, it's okay, bud, just one foot, and then she'll text you like cold, I'm like, yeah, cold, So um yeah, y'all, you should see her, y'all. She have her little floaties and stuff. Girl, she is a character. But anyway, so I said, so what did she say? She said something along the lines of yeah, she been here 17 years. This I found out the lady been here 17 years, right? I said, oh, okay. She said she been here 17 years. And she said, girl, got more questions than a little bit. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I can't talk because I'm probably going to have questions. So I can't talk about nobody having questions because I'm probably going to have questions. So then she was like, well, that's different. You knew. So you going to have questions, right? If you've been here 17 years, you should know it by now. And I said, well, then you say they changed databases since you've been here, and and I wasn't trying to talk up for the lady because, and I know it may have seemed that way, but I know how it can be when I'm telling somebody a story, and they saying stuff like, but then you say, well, I don't think da 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 da. So I know how it can be when you telling somebody something, and it's like they basically trying to act like I had a lady at an old job a couple of moons ago. And she was like, I was telling her it was the HR lady, which I found out she was crook. I found out that her and one of the people I was high words with, I found out that they was best friends. So in hindsight, looking back, it made a lot of sense when I would come and tell her things because I thought she was a safe place, but the whole time she was biased because that was her best friend of over 30 some years. So of course she gonna take her side, right? So that's why I try to stay away from jobs that is a lot of family and best friends and stuff, because people get away with a lot of bullshit. But anyway, so nonetheless, y'all know I'm long-winded. So nonetheless, she was telling me about the lady and stuff. So here's what this the meat and the potatoes, right? So then she was like, she said something along the lines of, how old you think that lady is anyway? And I said I give about maybe a 45, right? Because I'm looking at the wrinkles on her forehead, but the lady don't look young. I said she's either 45 or maybe she's maybe like around between 35 and 45, maybe around there. So she said, somebody slapped their hand on the desk like that. She said, girl, y'all, it's so draining talking about this lady, because I was starting to think something up, right, with her mental. So she said, girl, why would you think she's that young? So what you trying to say? I said, what am I trying to say? She said, so what you trying to say? I said, you asked me a question again, and I answered, and I said, I'm gonna sit her now. I said, Insecure, I'm starting to think I shouldn't answer your questions, because you get upset every time I answer your questions. I'm a person, if you ask me a question, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Okay, fun fact, right? I remember a couple of moons ago, back in my early 20s. I'm like this, a person, you ask me a personal question, I'm gonna ask you a personal question back. Which throughout the years I've learned, I've put boundaries up. You don't have no right to ask me personal questions. Now I'm older. I see when people do stuff like that, when they first meeting you, they'll say things like, I'm trying to get to know you, but they really trying to pick you, get to be nosy, right? Bullshit, they trying to be nosy. I remember one time I was working at a store, right? A lady asked me, she was a little older than me. I was no more than about 20, 21. She was about maybe 35. You know, when they 35, they're a little more seasoned, right? So she was a little more seasoned at being manipulative, right? She came right out and asked me a question. She said, where's your mom? I don't hear you talk about your mom a lot, right? And I said, she's around, And I said, I'm going to ask you a question now. She was trying to be funny. First of all, you don't ask people personal questions in a room full of other females. You knew what the fuck you was doing, right? And I said, well, I'm going to ask you a question, because she was trying to be funny, right? So she said, and keep in mind, she's a Virgo. You know the Virgos are very slick. So she said, so I said, so I'm going to ask you a question. She said, go ahead. I said, you said you got 3 kids, right? She said, yeah. I said, where your baby daddies? Then everybody said, oh shit. Right? I said, I heard you talk about the boyfriend that you keep bringing around your kids that only been around for a couple of months. But I ain't heard you say nothing about a baby father. And she said, well, yeah, he don't take care of his kids. I said, so, she said, so you said your mom, I said, that's how you know her intentions were, ill, right? She said, so you said your mom, you see how she tried to flip the shit, right? I said, so yeah, so I said, I don't like talking over people, because I think it's really rude. But I said, um, so I said, so yeah, so you mean to tell me you said kids? That's plural, not singular, right? She said, yeah. I said, so you mean to tell me he didn't take care of the first one and you laid down and had another one by him? And then she got an attitude. She said, you know what? It ain't even got to be all that. I said, yes, it do. Because let me tell you something. If you got a personal question you want to ask somebody about their personal life, I don't care if it's their mother, their brother, their sister, their child. You pull them to the side. You don't do it in front of a room full of females that you already know that we don't get along. So why would you ask me a personal question? Anything that's not in the job description is considered personal. It's considered personal. You see what I'm saying? If it's not a part of the job, it's personal. Right? Like I told her, I said, right? She said, yeah. I said, so that was personal shit. So why would you ask me a personal question in a room full of females that you already know I don't see it for? You knew what the fuck you were doing, right? So since you want to go there, I'm gonna go there with you. She said, well, that's what you was probably thinking all along. I said, I was. Because you only knew that man for 4 months. Why is he already around your children? So then that's when the supervisor stepped in and was like, okay, everybody get back to work. And that was my point exactly. This ain't got nothing to do with the job. It's personal shit, right? So you gotta watch bitches. That's why I don't like to get into the answering questions on jobs. Because I see how people do. I see why it's always that one person off to the side, don't say shit, don't do shit. I see why. Because it's I see why I had to learn. It's an older woman that was there. She said, baby, I had to learn how people can be on jobs. I had to learn. So she said, "Now all I can do is tell you, you gotta learn, right?" So nonetheless, um, she ended up losing her house a couple months later. Something about she was on Section 8 and the people, um, somebody was a house and the people weren't paying the voucher or something. And some type of way the man got behind her. I don't know. I never been on public assistance, so I don't know how that stuff works. But it was something about a house, and I guess the person that owned the house wasn't paying the voucher or something. I was getting bits and pieces. She ended up crying to me about it. I'm not the type of person that'll kick you when you was down. So I gave her a hug. I mean, she was boiling. She was boiling. So I felt kind of bad, and she apologized, and she admitted that that was wrong. Um, and she didn't, and I knew she was on bullshit. I knew she was on bullshit, and she admitted she was wrong, so we was all right after that. We didn't become friends, but we was all right. Like I told her, I can appreciate you admitting that you was wrong. As don't don't act like I'm crazy because I knew what I felt. Because why would I don't fuck with them? So why would you know what I'm saying? You don't if you trying to get close to somebody, you don't get close to somebody in front of people. You don't do that, right? So that's kind of like Bambi, and for people that watch Love and Hip Hop, when Bambi punched Erica Pankin in the club, you don't ask personal questions in certain settings. You don't ask people personal questions in front of bitches that you know they don't fuck with. You don't bring up people personal business in the middle of a club because you don't know who's standing around. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain shit you don't do. It's the principles of it, right? So, boom, right? So, so yeah, y'all. In conclusion, I'm gonna try to speed through these last two things. I'm not gonna give y'all the third one. It was three other things that happened. So long story short, she was just like, the lady been here for 17 years or whatever. And I told her I thought the lady was younger than that. And she was basically saying that what she told me came out, she said me and her the same age. And I said myself, damn, right? But keep in mind, Insecure has battled breast cancer. I'm glad she's okay. So of course I'm pretty sure that probably aged her as well. Um, so, when she first told me she was 61, I said to myself, damn, I thought you was 75, you know. So she has a head full of gray hair. And she looks older. She does. I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, she was sick. So, maybe that was something that, contributed to it. Um, so yeah, so another scenario, I'm gonna give y'all this last scenario. Um, it was a couple of other things, just like yesterday. Long story short, she said she going to a birthday party this weekend. Um, the lady that's on another lead on my team, basically. So she sits in the corner to the left. She was telling me she sit in the corner to the left, but I'm like, there's a lot of people that sit to the corner to the left, right? So long story short, um, she was like the lady, uh, we was chatting or whatever, blah blah blah. And she was like, mind you, this person is my skin complexion, right? Not light, not dark, right? but she has twists in her hair. But you know how some people may have like a couple of strands of gray hair. If you get up close on them, you can see it. So, but she has a young face. She doesn't have no wrinkles. She has clear skin. Um, she has a young face. So she was like, she's going to her birthday party. I said to myself, I said, which I'm not against old people going to young people birthday party, because I do believe you can be close with older people, right? You can look at them. Like my godmother wasn't my real godmother, but she was somebody I called my godmother. God rest her soul, because she was always there for me. So I called her. That was the godmother that I've adopted over my life, right? So, um, you can be close with older people. They don't necessarily mean that they're your friends. Do you look at them like, somebody that a confidant, somebody you talk to, somebody you love, not like your parents, because they're not your parents, but you look at them like a second parent, if that makes sense, right? You know, not above your parents, not on the same level as your parents. Y'all know what that means, a second parent. So, yeah, So I said to myself, well, maybe she looks um, oh, y'all. So then I had made a mistake. I fucked up by saying, she said, why you make that face? What you trying to say? I can't go. I said to myself, damn, that's not what I'm saying at all. She said, what you saying? We can't be close? I said, that's not what I said at all. She could look at you like a mom figure. She said, a mom figure. I said, oh my goodness. She said, so let me ask you this. She said, how old you think she is? I told her, I said, I'm gonna say her name. I said, Miss Insecure, I'm not, I don't want to play the age games again, because I saw what happened with 17, right? I said, I don't want to. She said, yes. She said, yes. I said, oh my goodness. So my deuce was like, can't nobody make you yes nothing. You should have just said you don't want to, and should have just kept it there, right? So she said, can't nobody make you say nothing. So I said, I don't know, 50. I didn't think the lady was 50, but I was just saying it. I was saying, I'm gonna just say 50, because maybe she said, no, she's not. So what you trying to say? I'm 100? I said, oh my God, right? I said, Miss Insecure, that's not what I'm saying at all. I said, that's why I didn't want to guess. Really, I thought the lady could have been 45, 40, She said she's 58. I said, oh my. I said, well, okay, I'm sorry. It's just not that far. I said, this lady got stuff that I don't need. She got some things she need to work out, because I ain't got time to be, you know what I'm saying? So, boom. And there was a couple of other things that happened where, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy had came over there and got, the trash, right? The trash man came over there. I don't like to say trash man, because it seems like the custodian came over there, same shit. But it's people out there that's, why you gotta say the trash man? Everybody's so touchy these fucking days. That's why I'm gonna start back. I keep these bitches up out my face, but I'm gonna start keeping people like her up out my face as well. In general, because, and a guy as well, because it was a guy there that I'm gonna keep him out my face too, because it was a guy that she was talking to, right? And I hate to say it this way, but I noticed majority of her friends are dark skinned women, and and the lady walking past, she don't speak to none of them, right? And I'm starting to wonder, maybe something Dana said got back to her, and that's why she's like that. She ain't approach him on it. She just don't deal with him, right? Which is the mature route. But I notice Insecure, she surrounds herself around other dark skinned people, right? So it's kind of like that. We gonna stick together because we understand the struggle, right? You're not fooling me. So the lady, y'all, I lie to you not. The lady was standing there making her coffee, not bother nobody, right? In the break room, you could see the man walk area from you could see down the hall to the break room. I lie to you not. The lady was standing there making her coffee, not bothering nobody, remember I told y'all she got a terrible shape now, right? So, mind you, they the same age. I'm saying to myself, I can't help your 61 don't look like her 61, right? But I think that lady has something in her. Y'all don't know it, but because her last name Gonzalez, right? And she looked like she could be maybe of a mixed descent, but she has a picture of her mother up there, and her mother is darker than me. So maybe she mixed. So I said to myself, I know you saw that picture. Anybody that comes from a dark woman is not a colorist because you came from a dark woman. I may not see eye to eye with my biological mother, but I come from her, and she's a dark skinned woman. At the end of the day, we may not all see eye to eye all the damn time, but she's my biological mother. You see what I'm saying? So she can't be but so much of a colorist, right? So, and her mother is insecure skin complexion. So maybe her daddy, mixed or something, or of like a different race or something. So I said to myself, what's the problem? So the lady was standing there making coffee. Y'all, I'm going to say this and I'm done with it, right? I'm going to avoid her today, right? Because I'm supposed to be doing computer training. I'm going to avoid her today because, I'm starting to see little stuff and I'm starting to see what people saying. I'm starting to see it and I had to see it for myself. I'm starting to see it, right? So I lied to you not. So I was walking past going to the printer and the lady was just standing there and she was like, talking to her dark skinned friend. And I hate to say it that way, but commiserating. Mad bitches link up. That's basically what it was. So look at her standing there thinking she cute with them coochie pants on. I said to myself, and if I'm at a further distance than her, like she was walking towards the break room, so I know that lady heard what the fuck she said. Because if I heard it, she heard it, unless she hard on her. Okay, so look at her thinking she cute. Then I'm like, how she think she cute? Cause she making coffee, right? So then the lady had walked past. She got her coffee, and she walked out. So she walked past my desk, right? So I want to say maybe 30 minutes later, the lady got up again, right? I was walking past, I was printing all day, right? For the most part, I was printing my paperwork and stuff. And I was also printing extra copies of my resume as well and stuff like that. They didn't know that, but I try to be careful on government databases because they track that kind of stuff. So, I'm trying to be a little, not to say it for lack of better words, trying to be slick with the little stuff I'm doing because I'm still looking for jobs, right? Because I want more money, right? So I'm tired of working two jobs. But anyway, so then the lady walked past, or something, and I noticed she'll try to walk past the lady path, right? So the lady went the other way. You could tell she was trying to avoid trouble. Then she said, she could kill me walking back and forth. She just want to be seen in them coochie cutters. The lady, then her friend, her little friend, yeah, got on them coochie pants, want everybody to see her little area. I said to myself, are y'all, anyway, y'all, I think it's jealousy. To summarize it up, I told my dudes, I said, I think she jealous of that lady because the lady red with not a nice grade of hair and a terrible shape at 61. And she look at herself at 61. Then she look at herself at 60, the other lady at 61. And she see it's a huge difference. The lady is not a spring chicken because she got wrinkles on her forehead. But you could she don't look 61. She don't look 61. You see what I'm saying? I think it's jealousy. I think it's jealousy. I think it's jealousy. You know, and I said to myself, look how you act with me. And I told my dudes, I said I gotta watch her because she told the other lady that was coming in that the lady was stuck up, and she told me. She told me the first day. She said, as you keep working here, you'll see who good people and who not good people. And I said, not good people. She was like, yeah, the people that don't talk, they usually not good people. And I said to myself, well, damn, how can you determine that they not a good person because they don't talk at work? And, my dudes told me this. She said, you got to watch her. Because she one of them people that feel like if you don't kiss her ass, you not good people. So, looking back, more of the story to summarize it. Looking back, I see why my good Judy from back in the day told me she doesn't like to be friends with dark skinned people. Because and she was I had a guy tell me that too. And I looking back, I said to myself, why y'all gotta be like that, But nobody wants to talk to somebody that they always have to clarify what they mean, what they did not mean. Because hell, I was getting drained. You see, I'm drained. I didn't even tell y'all what happened yesterday. You see what I'm saying? This was a lot. I've only known this lady in 2 weeks. And you can't count the first Monday because I won't with her the first Monday. And you can't count last week because she was missing one day. She went to a doctor's appointment. And you can't count Friday because she's going to be out again. So it ain't even been a full 2 weeks yet. Every little thing, you're offended by every little thing. And I notice she surrounds herself around dark-skinned people. I don't never see her talk to no light-skinned woman for real. Maybe around my skin complexion. But that's about as light as it's going to go. Like one time she got stuck on a scenario. So when they get stuck on something, you supposed to buzz a supervisor, right? Y'all tell me why all the supervisors was busy, right? So y'all may hear my words slurred, whatever. So all the other supervisors was busy, right? So I'm like, oh, I know, I can go call da. She's like, don't call her over here. I said, but don't you need help? Because I'm saying to myself, you supposed to be training me. If you get stuck, you ain't going to tell me the right stuff, right? Don't call her over here. Mind you, this the light-skinned supervisor, right? I'm like, why not? I said, don't you need help? Yeah, we'll just wait on somebody else. I said, well, the time that we waiting on somebody else, we could be on the next scenario. No, we going to be all right. We going to wait right here. So I kept standing up. She said, sit down. I said, I'm standing up because that's what you're supposed to do if you can't buzz nobody. I'm standing up, that way if somebody walk past, I can wave. You know what I'm saying? So the lady saw me standing up. She came over there walking. She was like, y'all need help with something? Before I could even respond, she said, no, we all right. I just looked at her. My dude was like, you should have said, no, you not. Don't let her mess you up. Because the first thing they're going to say is, you went to training, you should know it. Don't let her mess you up. If y'all don't know something, you need to get help. So my dude was like, you need to speak up and say you need a new trainer. Because that lady, first of all, she supposed to be training y'all. You're not supposed to be having these type of conversations with her. The time that you wasted on that, you could be training. So my dude told me, she was like, Friday. Oh, and how about my good Judy was telling me, she was like, you got to be careful what you say to dark-skinned people. And I said, really? Because this is my first time experiencing something like this. I said, really? She said, yeah. She said, you got to be careful what you say to them. You got to be careful. Just like I was telling her the story about what happened at Sam's Club, right? I was telling Insecure. So I was like, it was a black guy sitting outside the store. She said, why he got to be black? I said, okay, it was a man sitting sitting outside the store. She was like, there you go. I said, oh my God, I can't talk to you. I didn't say that. I said to myself, I ain't gonna be, me and this lady probably ain't gonna be all right. We probably ain't gonna be all right because everything is like eggshells with you, right? So I never forget one time I was working a job and the supervisor turned out to be crook, right? She ended up putting a whole bunch of lies in the computer Because I read her so bad one time, y'all. I read her ass. And I could see it on her face. That shit, she thought about, I read her ass from beginning to end, and I was reading her character, right? And I could see it all over her face. She, you know how you could tell, like, somebody is getting smaller and smaller. I slaughtered her ass. I didn't even have to do a whole bunch of cussing. I read her for filth. I read her life, right? So, boom, right? So one time, if she ain't tell me nothing else good, she was foul. But one thing she said to me, and I thought she was being petty. But this is one thing that, you know how something can happen and it can make you think back on something. One time I was at the front desk, right? I hate working at the front desk. She was a night job. She was one of my night job supervisors in the past. So I was working at the front desk. I hate the front desk. I hate anything doing the front desk, right? So um she was like, it was a guy standing there and I had to help him with his card and put the bullshit on his card and stuff. And that's one of my jobs that I don't miss. I don't miss. But I do remember her saying this. And she said, she was a light-skinned girl, she was a light-skinned chick, middle-aged, mean girl. But anyway, this was some good shit. You can learn from people even though they nasty. But she was nice. Ooh, nice, nasty, y'all. She came from Jersey. So she said, we was talking about the card or something, and some type of way she said I put the wrong shit on the man card, or I was new. So I didn't get everything right. So she was like, she was telling me, she said, I'm telling you now so you'll know, da da da. So I was like, okay, I receive it, because I gotta know how to do it. I'm new, right? So she was like, which they didn't do training. There was one of them jobs you learn as you go, right? So of course, if y'all don't do training, like everybody there said, y'all expect. That's why nobody wanted to do front of the house, because nobody really wanted to do that position, because it didn't. It was one of them jobs. They said, well, you're gonna get presented different scenarios on the job, so it's like you learn on the job, which is fucked up, because then when we don't know shit, then what, right? So long story short, I was telling her about the guy coming to the window or whatever, and so I was like, he was a white man. Oh my God, she said, so and so, you can't say that. That's racist. I said, huh? You asked me to describe the person, so I'm telling you he was a white man. He had blonde hair, a lot of tattoos. He had like a low cut, right? So she said, well, you can't say that. That's racist. You at the front of the house. You don't know who's listening. So it took a lady, a dyke looking lady, to explain to me what was wrong with what I said. She said, it wasn't racist. She said, she knew what you meant. She was giving you a hard time. I said, I felt that. So she said, she was giving you a hard time. She was trying to be funny, basically. But she said, two things could be true at the same time. She said she lacked the verbiage to express to you what it was really, how it was coming across. But it wasn't racist. She said she was trying to be funny, right? She knew damn well that wasn't no racism, right? But what she was trying to say was, there are people in the world that may hear you say this and may say, why out of all things you had to make a comment about the color? So then she broke down to me, we're living in a very sensitive world now. People are offended by every little thing. So I said, why couldn't she? She said, because she didn't graduate high school. She lacks the span to really break down to you what was wrong with it. So she just summed it up as racist, but it wasn't racist. She just didn't really have the span to break down to you what it was. So I told her, she said, so she asked me, to explain the man. And I was explaining it to her. She said, I knew what you meant. And she knew what you meant, but because she don't like you, she was trying to make it seem like you was trying to do something that you weren't, right? She knew what the fuck she was doing. So, and I felt that, right? But she said, two things could be true at the same time. She said, it's people out there that's, she said, so did the man say something about it? I said, no. And he was standing against the wall. He didn't, she said she knew what she was doing, but she was trying to break down to you that it's people in the world that can get the wrong idea. So just be careful, right? So anyway, I'm so glad I got the fuck away from that lady because y'all, that lady, she was just when I tell y'all when I got done with her, I was reading that lady so bad. She looked like she wanted to cry. You know how somebody look like they trying to keep it together? I went in on her. I went in on her. I call her all types of manipulative, nice, nasty, middle-aged, uneducated ass bitches. I got her real good. Like, I was done with her. And in return, she put a whole bunch of lies in the computer. I got her real good. And she don't know that she confided in somebody and told them that um she made me think about a whole bunch of things that she never thought about because I had to. Any bad thing I ever wanted to tell her, I told her. Talking about I made you think about some shit. Yep, I sure did. Like I told her, I said, you one of them girls that grew up in school and you spent so much time in your hair, your nails, keeping up your shape and this, that, and the third, that you never spent time pouring it into your brain. Now you middle age, you 44 years old, that means you're not far from 50, and you trying to play catch up. You trying to catch up with the world because you spent so much time worrying about your aesthetic. You never poured time into your soul. Huh. And 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 it took somebody to tell me that's a deep breed that a lot of people are not ready for. It's one of them things where you got to really look at yourself in the mirror. Like, damn, because people don't understand. You could be a ugly girl, right? That's really educated. You can always find some money and fix yourself up. But when you waste time because you got a nice shape, nice this, nice that, you ain't spent time putting it to yourself. So now you're 44 years old, trying to go back and get your GED, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do this, trying to do that. Because you spend so much time worrying about what a man can do for you. You ain't spent time trying to figure out how you can get it on your own. I was getting her ass, y'all. I was getting her ass. I was sucking it to her ass. A lot of shit she didn't think I knew that come from people that she called herself being close to. They talking to each other about her personal business around me. I sure did throw it in her face. I sure did. Because I had a lot of stuff built up with how she would talk to me when she would get around other people and shit. I had to forget that stuff. I'm a Leo. When I get you for one thing, I'm going to get you for everything. But anyway, I thought back on that. So nonetheless, yeah, y'all. So yeah, y'all. In conclusion, I think I'm going to just stop talking to her. I know I said that in conclusion part a while ago, but I think I'm going to just stop talking to her because I ain't got time to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I just told y'all about the supervisor that I had on a couple moons ago on a night job. When I tell y'all after that situation and a couple of other things when about the racist thing, I just stopped talking in general. I just stopped talking because I realized the people that I was surrounded by. First of all, I was the only person on a night job that had a degree, and I was going to school for another one. And one thing I've learned in life, that's why it's so important to surround yourself around people that have some of the same accomplishments as you and accolades, because it's like when you're around people that don't have what you have, they always think you're throwing off. They always acting like you think that you this and you that. That's why I see why people say I hang in circles that I can relate to the people, you know. And, you know, like I told y'all, she was a middle-aged mean girl, but she was nice, nasty with it. She didn't come right out and do stuff. She would be very sneaky about it. She was from Jersey, you know, so she was very slick with, you know, her problems. But nonetheless, I just, you know, I think so, you know, just like at the night job, I would come in the room sometimes. I got to the point I wouldn't even speak. Cause I realized, like I told y'all, when I feel like I'm being misunderstood, you know, one time I had a professor that told me something, I never forget it. She said, you know, notice when somebody is just trying to give you a hard time. I had a CFO tell me that as well. Notice when somebody is just trying to give you a hard time. You'll save yourself an argument, you'll save yourself time and energy because you already know this person trying to be funny. So why go back and forth with them? You see what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it these days. You know, I think I'm gonna start dealing with her. You know, I'm gonna deal with her as far as the training. Every time she get off topic, I'm gonna try to bring it back on around. But outside of training, I think I'm gonna start speaking to her. I think so because I'm starting to see what they see. I'm starting to see. I had to see for myself. Nobody, it won't like people was in my ear like she's this, she's that. You know, they would just say, we'll see how long y'all work. And one day I told y'all, she was like, in front of the supervisor, she was like, you not gonna complain on me either, are you? And I was like, huh? And she was like, you got any complaints? And I said, no. And her supervisor was like, not yet. We'll see how long that lasts, you know. And I said to myself, right? So my dudes was like, people must have been complaining on her. But my thing is, I don't judge because I know how petty people can be when they trying to be funny to get you off a job and stuff. So I know how people can be. So I'm like, okay, you know. So my dudes was like, yeah, that's different in your situation because when they tried to get you off jobs, they did it behind your back. But they dissing her right to her face, right? So I've had bitches do shady shit in a room full of people, you know, but I told y'all about that time. I didn't even know the bitch was talking about me, you know, but then we got in the room full of people. She was like, well, from what I heard, some bullshit. And when she won't even there, you know what I'm saying? So I know how bitches can be on jobs. I know the little stuff they would do. So I was trying to get a lady benefit of the doubt. But kind of similar to my night job, once I see little stuff and I see I gotta always break down to you, I didn't mean no harm, I didn't mean nothing bad, you know, I just stopped talking to you. Because there's a lot of people out here that I don't have to do that. I can be myself around. I don't have to step on eggshells with them. I can fart. I can burp. My speech ain't gonna be 100%. I could just be normal around them. I don't have to be all stuffy around them and step on eggshells. And that's not what I meant. That's not what I said. That's not. No, you took that the wrong way. You know, I ain't got time for that shit. So I'm gonna be just like on my night job back in the day. I'm gonna just start speaking. I'm gonna walk right past you. I ain't got nothing to say to you because I see how you giving it up. And just like on the night job, that same supervisor, she would say, well, hello. I'm like, hello, you know. And then she would say I was being standoffish. What the fuck? Every time I say something, you get the wrong idea. People don't understand. I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. If I'm feeling a weird vibe, I'm gonna step back. I'm not matching energy. I'm gonna step back. So, you know, I think I'm gonna stop after training, because I'm looking for another government position. And the hiring process is not quick with no government job really. So until, I'm gonna stay there, get what I can, need out of the situation, you know, long enough to get by or whatever. And after my training, I'm gonna get what I need from her ass and I ain't gonna be dealing with her no more. I'm gonna stop speaking. I ain't even gonna go that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I see why that lady I see why. Because ain't nobody got time for that.